is this man that you see in front of you? You might recognize his paintings from the color I just drew of him. Now do you recognize him? If you don't know Pablo Picasso. So let's get started and talk about this old man who I accidentally drew his eyes ugly. Let's get started. Pablo Picasso. Darshan presents their episode on Pablo Picasso. Hi guys, and welcome to a new episode on this channel, and today we will be talking about Pablo Picasso. And let's get started already. Now, you might have noticed that for all these past few videos of Darshan, we have not been using the notes that much, because it turns out I'm starting to search up a lot of photos that are more useful than the drawings I've always been drawing in my notepads. So let's just get started. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this guy is Pablo Picasso. He is like the modern artist. I also did a video recently on my channel about Pablo himself, so you should seriously check it out. By the way, this is the video. And yeah, so let's talk about his drawing days. It turns out that his drawing days started before his talking days. So basically he was drawing already even before he was even able to talk. I mean, he couldn't even say blah 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 back then. All he could say was actually piz, which is Spanish, which is the baby word of spazviz, I think. Yeah. Blah 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 blah. Oh, we look at these orange figures and red figures talking to each other, and their yellow souls coming out and like talking to each other, saying hi. Well, yeah, that's a lot. And now he was also better than his own dad at artwork, just like how the super diaper baby was better at almost everything with his dad. I'll read you the comic strip. No, Daddy, me read to you tonight. Ha, you can't read, you're just a baby. Actually, he can read. The superpower juice he drank also made him super smart. He taught himself to read this morning. Give book. And so, no, shouted Mecha Frog, not until you defeat my army of ribbit robots. And his dad's a bit worried. Which is, I guess, that since he's like almost not even good at doing anything, I've been reading a bedtime story. And so now Pablo entered a risky time, a risky jump. He did his leap of faith. What? What is this? Much better, much better, much better. In Spider-Verse, basically Miles had to fall down from a building and start his Spider-Man adventures. And as long as that might not sound like a leap of faith, it is. All it takes for you is to be like, in this case, in the movie, had to be a Spider-Man. You just have to have Spidey powers and the will to do a leap of faith. And already there was a lot of leap of faith. Pablo did his leap of faith in his paintings. He drew in a different style. And like back then, let me draw it better. Back then, he was told to copy some sort of Grace works, or if he wouldn't copy them, then he would draw his own and draw them in a more realistic way. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, and draw in a more realistic way. And I actually enjoy his realistic versions. And the only thing I don't seem to get about his paintings is that the way he drew his faces back now were a bit weird. Like One eye there, nose here, mouth there, brain here. And in this case, and for women, eyes here, nose right in between them, mouth like almost at the chest, hair like very crazy, and for some reason he drew them naked. Yeah. And this is basically cubism for Pablo Picasso. And why did he start drawing in blue? Well, there's actually a good reason for that. Just take that off. These are all of his regular paintings, and I still can't believe he drew that one. He drew some of them naked, and he actually enjoyed drawing women, by the way. And now you could have seen here that there is a lot of blue in these pictures, except the last one, which didn't have that much blue as the others. And the period of time when he was creating these were called the blue period, where basically he was in a depression moment and decided to draw everything in a depressing color, blue. Eventually he grew out of it and started doing other things. And finally, I was back to business. He had 7 dates, seven girlfriends, eventually dying while marrying one of his last. And now let's talk about his deathbed. When he died, he said that if you had married, then you wouldn't have wasted his life. He lived through 3 wars, 2 world wars. He was lucky not to be drafted into the World War I and World War II since he was not native to France. And so, yeah, those were technically his World War days, and all his war days were probably one of the most reasonable things that probably affected his blue days. And as I said earlier on his last saying, that is a true fact. I mean, it doesn't matter if you didn't marry. Robert Langdon never married in the Robert Langdon novels. But yeah, it's just that this is how much as it could have ever been in our world. So this is the end of this episode. If you learned something new about Pablo Picasso, then please tell me in the comments below. I hope to see you guys in the next Starship episodes, and by then I might be using Samsung Note for a way longer time. And right now, stay blue or green. Like, share, click, bell, subscribe.